going on, guys? It's Matty Day Trades, baby, back at it with a weekly watch list. No bad throw on, just the ill ass shirt. I hope everyone's been doing good. So just real quick here, weekly watch list. I'm more looking for retest across the board to go short again. So my watch list is a little smaller this week. Um, but let's hit it off. Usually I like to do small plays, small ports first, and then we'll move on to the bigger ones. So first one's Unity. All-time lows completely smacked down here. It's basically what's the theme? Sell pop, find theme. Play it till it doesn't work, right? I'm sorry. Okay, so basically this is going to be, not necessarily. Um, I guess swing watch list. Attacking those all-time lows at 29. So we could definitely see a nice move out of here. I want all-time low and some. But basically here, what I'm looking for is, once uptrend breaks, we'll just play the downtrend break for puts. But for calls here, really quick, um, I want smaller time frames here because we're all-time lows. Let me delete this old work. So basically, as you can see, there's no PA here. We're kind of just using levels base here. So how I would play this would be trigger, over our prior high, right? We have our gap here at 44.57. Ideally we should push through that gap fill right at 47.33. Over that, I think we can move up here. Sorry. Up, we can move up here 53.72. We might run into some resilience here at 50 as well. Boom, and then that's that little box that uh, I use my boxes to get price targets as well. Sorry, I blanked out there. But, you break your prior high. We should fill relatively quick on this gap. We know how Unity moves, gets volume, it could go nuts. Gap means, thin PA here. If prior high breaks, we should get gap fill. Gap fill breaks, starting bottom of this box over here. And then play the top of the box over there. Like I said, kind of gave some PTs, there. I would say, that's kind of our trend minus this, right? So really, like I said, play this both ways here. I personally just, I would personally want to short somewhere up here. Um, I think market comes down more personally. Like I said, if we rip up, great play. You could play some calls here, but I want to play the put side. I'd love to get rejection here, get in early before trend breaks, and then to the downside, 38.60, 37, 34.40, continue down 33, and then those prior lows, right? And then targets here just respectively, move up, follow PA as we go. I don't know, SPY can rip massive, or who knows, future sell off overnight. My next smalley would be UPS. This name has been on an absolute bender to the downside. We know these weekly, monthly, multi-time frame trend breakdowns have caused absolute massive moves, right? As we could see, UPS really over 122, 134, and then that 156 here. So we got a real thin PA to the downside. We're kind of, as long as we're under 175, I think UPS can trade as low as 156.60. If 156.60 breaks down, this thing floods fast. Make sure you have it on your watch list. The daily here, we're kind of, we got some good chop right around that 164, 165 level to get a good bounce. Potentials here. This is our breakdown level. It was our breakout before. Our breakdown level. What do you need when you break down? Well, if you're a bear, you want to break down, put in a new low, retest, right? And then what do we need for continuation? Break that prior low, which would land us somewhere down here, right? Now, to play this, again, I try not to have, oops, sorry, my triggers. I try not to have bullish bearish biasm, right? It's, obviously you have to have your biasm, but if it doesn't go my way, I try to have plans A, B, and C ready to go. So, like we said, PA really thin, right? I'm sorry. Going back to 2021, and it was straight rippers, and then prior 2020, basically what I do here is let's see what the 1 hour looks like. You know, we've identify, this beautiful box here we have, right? Realistically, so if you played Friday, great. Now all I'll do is kind of, okay, trigger will be that prior high. Trigger, I would say down here, taking risk for 165, $1 move, just because it looks so weak. To the upside here, I think this prior low kind of, oops, sorry. Actually, I guess respectively here, somewhere 173. Over 173, we can kind of see some movement here to about 175. Over 175, we'll get that daily retest. If, we had a market rip, $10 rip Friday, it's possible, if market gets going, you could see the PA's real thin to that 176.28 level. If that breaks, you do have chop to get to, but over 180, you got a gap fill 182. And then to the downside, like I said, if 166 breaks, I'm risking this prior low 165, and then I think we could see a $10 yank easily. Penn is probably my last one for the smallies here. I mean, this has been playing beautifully for us. We've been banking on it. Penn, this is a box over here. Top is, 37. The bottom is 30.61, right? 37 breaks down. We haven't had our retest yet. Obviously, these major weekly trend breaks are massive. So now basically what I have here is you break 32. Where's your retest of breakdown? I mean, realistically, PA is really thin. PA is really thin, but your retest is somewhere up at 35.70 level, right? So anywhere in this 35.70, 37, I'm looking to short. If you want, play calls over 32 to about that 35, 37 level. Then you could flip right back to shorts, targeting 32. If 32 breaks down, right, then we kind of just work down. Okay, bottom of the box, 29. Well, that's a weird. Oh, wait. Okay, so if, 32 breaks down, 30 breaks down, 29.59, then we just target that prior low under the prior low, right? Just from our weekly monthly here. Okay, 30.60 breaks down, we get 25, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then again, near term, we haven't had our breakdown, right? We've had our breakdown, no retest. I guess ascending triangle, bear flag actually here. So yeah, if we reject here, which market gaps up, this is going to gap up. We could play the downside on 32, entry early on trend, and then just play our levels as we had before. And over 32, like I said, just we could use PA here, targeting 33, going 34, and then that 35, 36 retest, right? All right, now stepping it up a little bit, more volatile names, bigger names. Snow being the first one. ER this week, daily setting up here. Here's another one. We obviously trending down, right? Putting in lower lows here. Here's our lowest low, a lower high, right? Didn't quite get this low. We're squeezing, right? We didn't get a lower low here. Kind of squeezing here on the daily. If trend breaks out on the daily, what did I say before? You need a breakdown. Didn't quite get our retest. Maybe we can go retest 166, 167 through 170, 173, right? Once get there, who knows? Could short retest trend, break higher, earnings. We might see earnings run up. All I know is the daily is getting real tight here and squeezing. And again, to the downside, right? We'll just short 134.40, targeting that prior low at 126. So here you can kind of see, sorry, I got a bunch of stuff going on. Right, so we can kind of see here, respectively, intraday trend would be something, I guess, something like this. We could see this 135's holding double bottom neckline, right? So if you're a risky boy, we see clearly that there's some PA, box here. We can move up over here. At least we should. Like I said, we might get an ER run up. I don't know. I don't think we do too hot here, but who knows? So You want to be risky, you can play the prior high break, risking 146.55. That's trend, right? That's a nice intraday level. If this breaks out, we could fly to 153. Over that, 160. 160 can have fun and rip this thing to 170 pretty fast. To the downside, right? If market fails, reject, looking for rejects on these levels. And then, ultimately we need 135 to really get that 125. Under 125, right, we're all-time lows. This thing, can send back to, like I said, 120s, 110. Um, Another name here is Airbnb. It's another name that's kind of just been getting absolutely killed. Um, we're all-time lows here, right? When you break down, we haven't had our retest yet. I'm not saying 135 happens, but the daily here is looking pretty explosive. So how I would do it, we've got our daily trend here, real thin PA. We've seen Airbnb, how she wants to move, right? I would just play Friday's prior high break. As you can see, my trigger 116.40. And then to the downside is the same thing, right? I would just wait till we break that all-time low just because um, that's what we're working with, and I want to play that prior low break. So in terms of target, obviously this trend is pretty clear, right? Um, let's see on the 1 hour here in terms of targets. So let's see. I think really Airbnb should be able to rip to 120. We need 116.40 trigger. We need to clear 118.30 to see 119. And then again, let's just find, you got a decent box over here. Nice lines up there. Beautiful 122. If 122 breaks 125 over 125, Airbnb absolutely explodes. Can see 135. And then, like I said, to the downside here, ideally wait for that 107.45. If we have a trend, trendy update for a couple of days, let's just identify trend, let's add trend line here. And kind of once trend breaks down, we can play that, right? Again, might have a relief bounce, but I am leaning bearish. So like I said, I don't have any like textbook setups. I know a lot of names are looking real juicy here. I mean, PanW, we've talked about these weekly, monthly breakdowns. PanW breakdown retest is sitting somewhere at 400. We saw that threshold at 458 broke down. Intraday saw our $30 drop. On the daily, right, we have a gap fill still needs to be filled 375, and then another one at 440. So 458 breaks down, risking 449. Under that, the PanW can absolutely flood. If we break that Friday high at 492, we can see 500 pretty fast, 520. Definitely keeping cyber on the radar. KMB was another one. Now I'm kind of just spitballing names that look good on a chart, ready for a bounce, rejects, whatever. Weekly here, right? This box is pretty obvious. When it breaks down, it sees 117, right? Why? Well, look at the first time, 117, second time, 117. So now here, if buyers step in here, just like it's been doing, right? Just follow trend inside your box and let it rip, right? Something like that. Um, you get the picture here, right? I'm just doing this pretty quick. Boom, boom. So now what I do, right? It's actually from down here, but like I said, it's looking like it's getting some life. So if it wants to bounce here, buyers step in. We could drive it to 143. But basically, what I'm going to do here is, we could ride trend up and then just wait for trend breakdown targeting 127, ultimately 116. The daily here. Fill the gap down. We broke down. This could be a retest. If we get back over, honestly, PA is real thin to 135. 135, you run into trouble. 138. 138 gives 140, 142, 143. Downside, right? It's pretty thin. Break this prior low. We should really yank. PG was looking decent. Cisco's looks decent. But that's really it. I mean, I'm going to be watching for chips. Flow was pretty heavy. NVIDIA, bulls stepping in where they need to be, bringing it, respectively right back in this box here. The box would be something like this. If NVIDIA bounces, breaks, Friday's high would be target 173. It could rip to 180 pretty fast. Um, so yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan here. We've been having crazy PA. This week is going to be nuts. Um, we nailed that retail consumer shorts all last month. It paid off heavily. Nike here bouncing at 105, Bulls stepping in big time. Um, it already had its retest, so I could look to short Nike at 110, 115 again. Microsoft, can go retest 260. But all right, guys, I'm gonna head out of here. If Lowe's breaks 179.30, this thing can have some fun. Can easily see 170 under 170. Six is down 160, but 179 closes. If we can have a close under there, Lowe's can see 150 fast. We were on cost all last couple of weeks, but weekly, monthly trend breakdowns. Where's your retest, right? Still cost, I know it's fallen, but cost still has room down, right? Cost still needs a retest that breakout level, right? All these names ran so hard, now they, are having their retest. So, um, I know I posted online, but, setting up, this is very simple, right? Under the prior low, 71.65, we can short this to 66 pretty easily. If we get a new lower low under 66, 64.60 and down 60s we go. And again, break the box to the top side here over 80. This thing could go 83, 88. Obviously, beautiful box there. Definitely watch this name. I've been all over it. Needs 72.60 really break down. Gap fill 70, and like I said, 66 can come. And then there's that, 80 level over 80 sees 88. So you can play calls over that, or we could short the downside on trend. All right, guys, let's bank this week. Maddie's back, baby. Let's get it.